Hi guys, it's been a minute. I still don't have access to go live on Facebook. For those watching on Facebook, I'm still trying to regain that. But while working on that, I decided to come on and answer a question that I often get asked by clients, by followers, by others that I meet daily in life's journey. And it's a question around confidence. How do I regain my self-confidence after a relationship? How do I regain my self-confidence on the job? How do I revamp my self-confidence after trauma? Those are some of the questions that I get around self-confidence. And today I really wanted to do a deep dive on that to kind of help support you on your journey. Self-confidence has to do with believing in yourself and being able to own your truth and own your voice and just be you than being what other people want. And your self-confidence is for you, not necessarily for other people. Let me say that again. Your self-confidence is for you, not for necessarily for other people. The reason why I say that is most of the time we focus on the false confidence, which masks itself like self-confidence, and we use that to obtain validation and acceptance of others. But that is actually taking you off the course of your journey and helping you get lost in life. Many people will not agree with this, but it's the reality of life, and we have to continue to speak the truth in one another because truth comes from a place of love. And I operate from a space of love. So you're not going to see me sugarcoat anything, but give it to you as it is, because my purpose in life is to help you navigate the murky waters of life and to help you regain your confidence and evolve in your life's journey while you're still breathing and living. And it's also about building healthy relationships, first with yourself and then with other people. So without further ado, let's continue diving into self-confidence. How do you regain your self-confidence after you've lost it? Either by getting into a relationship, either by going through a life experience, either by going through a work-related experience, either by going through a friendship that literally tore you apart. And the truth about self-confidence is it's developed over time. It's not something you have overnight. Your self-confidence may show up falsely when you mask yourself. For us women, it's masking ourselves with a lot of makeup, a lot of dressing it up, a lot of faking it till we make it. We all see that on Instagram and TikTok sometimes. And at the end of the day, you're still losing yourself and it's not worth it. So today it's all about looking at yourself as a person. How much belief do you have in you? That's the starting point. How much belief do you have in you? If you don't believe in yourself, you may start creating limited beliefs out of traumatic experiences, out of painful experiences, and that helps you think that your confidence is around the limited beliefs, but they're not. Your confidence is not around that. Your limited beliefs are narratives that you've created, that this is all that happens, and this is what you're going to continue, the story you're going to continue to tell yourself. But that story may not be true to you and may be holding you back from living truthfully to yourself. And you, as long as you're beginning to examine the limited beliefs and deduce what is reality, what is truth about those beliefs, you will begin to unravel the mystery around what you're holding on to. So first thing is, look at how much you believe in yourself, how much you believe in the limited beliefs that you've created. Are those limited beliefs true to you in reality of life, or are they narratives that you've birthed from a painful place and surviving coping mechanisms you're now building on as what is giving you a false confidence? And one of the things about false confidence is the more you create the false limited beliefs, the more you're awakening your ego, and you're going to seek the people that have similar beliefs that you form a niche with. And misery always likes company. And so when misery in the limited beliefs exists, you will find yourself getting attached unhealthy way, emotionally unhealthy way, to those people who have similar beliefs, and you're creating like a clique. And that mystery clique may not help you own your truth, because now your ego is going to be seeking validation. Your ego is going to be seeking acceptance. Your ego with their ego will start forming trauma bonds. And the limited beliefs just continue to mask yourself, which is one of the reasons I wrote the quote. The level of your ignorance is based on what you know and your ego, because what you know will confine you. What you don't know and you're willing to learn will liberate you. And knowledge is good to gain, but knowledge without application is just going to make you ignorant. And at that point, you will feed your ego, then you're feeding your mind with what is true, with what is reality. And you want to make sure that you're owning reality. You're not just creating a space where you're becoming your own greatest enemy. The second thing is to look at how you view yourself. First one is believe in yourself. The second one is, how do you view yourself? Do you view yourself as an object, or do you view yourself as a person? Most of the time when we're in an unhealthy place, we view ourselves as an object, which is why we sometimes settle for less than we truly deserve, because we don't know what we deserve yet. We don't know our worth yet. And so what we're doing is seeing ourselves as an object that can be given to somebody else to play with. And when somebody else is playing with your life as an object, they influence your decision. They make you just become codependent, and you don't see yourself outside of them, and you create a mini God and start to worship them in a way, then realize that there's only one God, the one who created you and the source of everything that you need. But now you're making somebody else that God that you're now obsessed with, that you're now attached to, that you're now pleasing, and you've now become codependent with, and then you're losing yourself in the process. So second thing is, how do you value yourself? Are you able to look at yourself and say, I really know myself? The exercise that I usually give my coaching clients for this is to take a plant, take a seed, and plant that seed. Water it, nurture it. Don't let it die, don't overwater it. And as you do that, begin to look at the plant. How well are you giving it attention? How well are you ensuring it's breathing and living? How well are you ensuring that it's not dying? When you start looking at yourself from that perspective, you will see that you may not have valued yourself in some of the relationships that you're settling in, and you find yourself just losing who you are, and you don't really see your own worth from that place because you're viewing yourself as an object. When we have experienced trauma, or we're in a traumatic environment, survival environment, transactional relationship environment, we see ourselves as an object to be traded. And so one of the things you have to realize is, when you start looking at how much you value yourself, you will start seeing yourself not as an object, but as human that you are. And you will begin to have kindness for yourself. You will begin to become compassionate to yourself. You will begin to learn to discover yourself. You will begin to learn to discover your strengths. You will begin to learn to make your own choices, and understand that the choices that you make will result in the consequence, and you're able to own those consequences and know that you're going to change your own life. The third thing, which is the last thing I will say, is, how much do you spend time with yourself? You see, spending time with yourself allows you to think, allows you to reflect, allows you to introspect, allows you to evaluate where you are with where you need to be, and allows you to really focus on setting goals that can help you forge ahead. Most of the time when you're in a place of false confidence, you don't even have goals. You're just going with the flow. You're winging it. It's all about, let me form a transaction. Let me try and manipulate someone. Let me try and survive. But you're not thriving. And the goal in life is to thrive, not to survive. Unfortunately, the society that we live in also, embraces codependency. And so once you become codependent on other people, you will never learn to be interdependent. And another thing false confidence makes you do is when you have false confidence, you start to connect with the wounded child. This is the deep part of it. And I'm saying this is a deep part of it because I've had to deal with this in my own space as well. You begin to connect to the wounded child in a way of seeking the missing puzzles of your life. But you will connect to people that are also carrying the wounded child and really putting it out there as the only thing that they know. And the wounded child will sometimes make you live a life of revenge. And when you're living a life of revenge, you will become your own greatest enemy. I remember when I started to do the healing work and my wounded child was coming up. The wounds were oozing to the surface because I needed to heal myself. I thought it was time to party because where I got wounded in my teenage years, when I got raped, was at a party. So the wounded child wants to reconnect to those pieces. But I didn't need those pieces because those were experiences that are teaching me to evolve, that are teaching me to become better, that are teaching me to move beyond the pain into a purposeful relationship. And so I started to connect to the wounded child because I did not know how. And that was when I decided to go get support. I remember one of my childhood friends, who is a true friend, calling me out on social media saying, "You're very classy, but you don't have to dress trashy because now you think exposing your body is who you are. But that's not you because I know you from childhood and this is not who you are." And so that person was like a purpose helper that really helped me reconnect the dots and say, you know what? This person called me out. I'll be humble enough to receive this call to order because it wasn't about my ego. Most of the time when people tell us things when we're in an egocentric place, we start talking about ain't nobody's business how I live my life. But reality is at that point, you are your own enemy. And then you start seeking attention and validation from other people. But I remember when this person came and made the post, a public post, indirectly talking to me because they did not know if I was going to be able to receive that call to order, that reprimand at that point. I received it because I was on my healing journey and I was just stuck. And I had to get professional support to help me get out. And I remember when I started to really heal, the people that I connected with on LT attachment from the wounds that I carried that I needed to heal from began to fall off my life. Like they were dropping like a bat. And I had to look at it as they're not meant to come with me on this healing journey. And that's okay. Not everybody can come on the healing journey with you. And so I had to do a lot of work in my own space to be able to now support other people. I've been supporting people. I've been coaching now. It's 15 years I've been coaching. And I've been really supporting other people, supporting marriages, supporting individuals, supporting couples that are still dating and courting to make sure that they're making the decision that works best for them. Because the truth is, when you make a decision that works best for you, you're able to evaluate the people that you're bringing into your life based on the goals that you're setting. And it's not about just setting goals. There are short-term goals, there are long-term goals. When you start healing, it's short-term goals before the long-term goals. So you're looking at the people that you are vetting and sorting in your life to make sure that there are people that can help you accomplish the goals, not take you away from it. Because there are purpose helpers and there are purpose killers and there are purpose pushers and there are purpose stoppers. If you want to learn about those four, pick my book, Being Single. And so you have to look at it as if my confidence is coming based on codependency, if my confidence is coming from external than internal, then I don't have confidence in myself. I can mask everything. I can put the perfume on. I can do the hair. I can do the makeup. I can party away. But is my confidence really in my true self? That's the question you need to daily ask yourself if you want to live truthfully and purposefully and ensure that you're not your own enemy and you're not your own blessing blocker. Confidence is great when it's true. Confidence is humility when you allow yourself to receive what you don't know, learn, gain wisdom, and you have to be the laborer in your life. God will send you laborers, but there are so many labors that you have to do in your life first before those laborers can come to support you. Your labor of love is one. Your labor of patience is one. Your labor of gaining wisdom is one. Your labor of being true to yourself is another. Truth is an attribute of love. And as long as you're doing the work in your life, when you become confident, you become humble, because you see, confidence is not proud. Let me say that again. Confidence is not proud. The ego is prideful. Confidence is silent. Confidence is not noisy. Confidence is not out there saying, this is me, all the selfies. That's not confidence. I started learning that when I began my healing journey 15 years ago. More than 15 years ago. 15 years ago, I became a coach. And it took me doing the work in a very humble place. I remember nights where I cried. I remember nights when I looked at myself, I was like, so all this false confidence that I had wasn't me. I remember when the trauma started shedding and people were like, you don't look yourself again. You don't dress up again. You don't come online. You're not always that classy person that you are. When we see you, you're very casual now. You may lose followers. And I'm like, it's not about the followers. It's about the impact that you make when you're confident in yourself, when you're true to yourself, because you're not looking to build followers. You're looking to build leaders who also take the lead in their own lives and go to flourish. And I remember somebody saying to me that, oh, you're going to lose a lot of people in your life. And I said, that's okay, because when I have the true confidence in who I am, I no longer see myself as an object. I see myself as human. I have compassion and kindness for myself. I know that I'm never going to be perfect, and that's okay. And then I'm able to reevaluate my life, introspect, and live truthfully to myself without pleasing other people. That's when you begin to gain true confidence. It's not about the falsehood that you put out. It's about being true to yourself, maintaining your integrity, understanding that not everybody will like the true confident you, and that's okay. It's all about you living your life truthfully and purposefully and ensuring that you're not leaving yourself behind. That's all I had for today. Remember to never stop loving while living. When you stop loving, you stop living. And when you stop living, it means it's time to go back to the maker. God, the creator, is going to call you home at that time. But before that time, make sure that the confidence that you have in yourself is truthful. Make sure that you're not your own enemy blocker. You're not your own blessing blocker. Make sure that you're not your own greatest enemy, and make sure that you're not putting out the false confidence which makes you lose yourself and become fake in your own life than being true to yourself. Remember, nobody can make you confident as much as you can make yourself confident. And confidence is quiet. It's not about people pleasing. It's about being true to who you are created to be and become. Until next time, have a great week ahead. Talk soon. God bless. Bye-bye.